Muted? Oops. God damn it. God damn it. Hello. It's dark. I'm in Kyiv. It's dark. There's no electricity. And I was muted even though I was talking. Brilliant. At least I've got Oreo. I discovered that I left Oreo when I left to Poland. And now I'm gonna eat the Oreo that I left here. Hello. Also, I discovered the splitting of tabs option. So I just turned it on, and that is how I saw the YouTube chat. There's still the Twitch chat, which probably is going to be silent or whatever. Leftist audio. Wait, what's wrong with my audio? My audio should be okay. Wait, hold on. I think my audio is fine. I've got a nice microphone. Is there an echo? There's not an echo, right? Oh my god. Hold on. I have to check some things. Oh wait. Oh my god. Wave. No. Oh my god. No. Oh jeez. Elgato. I forgot to turn this on. Oh. What a stream, huh? Boop. Why isn't it turning on? Please turn on. It's good now? It's not good now. It's where's the Elgato wave thing? Okay. And there you go. Now it's good. All right, we've got it on. What? I'm sorry. What did you say? What the hell? The hell? Why are you doing this to me? Hold on. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Hello, Lucy. Dinner is simmering. Well, my darkness is simmering as well as I'm here doing things. Okay? It is dark as hell. Dark as hell, you know? We're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff. Hello, Emma Ross. Oh my gosh. Wait. I feel like I know you, but I also feel like you haven't been here for at least 5 years. Is that correct? Is it correct for me to say that? That I know you, but you have not been here for at least 5 years? What? Yeah, nice. Wait, when was the last time you were here so that I can know if I should give you an update on this channel and plans and stuff? 2 or 3 years? Is this the first time you're seeing my face? Is this the first time you're seeing me not as a VTuber? Oh my gosh, in that case, there's so much to catch up on. Catch up on. Okay. So do you know what I'm up to now? Do you know what this channel is all about now? Or do I have to give you an update? Do you know where I am? Do you know why I'm in the dark? Do you know what I'm shrouded in darkness? Yeah, I am Kyiv. I'm in Ukraine. I'm doing journalism now. I think I'm the second only streamer in the streaming space, TM, that does journalism in Ukraine. My journalism focuses on children, how they're suffering throughout this war. I already have actually a published article. A Polish magazine published my article on kidnapped children. So now I'm a streamer that does news and politics. I cover the war a lot. I do journalism in here, and gaming and art. So I'm very close to releasing my first interview. It's with a 16-year-old from a Ukrainian city called Bakhmut. That's going to be the first. I'm going to do a whole big rehaul soon. Once that thing is complete. We're going to have 3 channels. The Lucy Empire is going to have 3 channels for those who want to go for a specific content. Number 1 is going to be a channel with my interviews, movies, everything that I record in Ukraine, war-related material that's going to be in that. Anything related to my in real life activity. Second is going to be, I'm going to separate the news and politics channel from gaming so that the algorithm does not go crazy all the time whenever I do any of these things. So I'm thinking this channel will be left for games and art, and I'm going to start a new one for politics. So this is how this is going to go forward. But first, the first step is for me to finish editing that video, that interview. I'm going to finish editing that interview and now I'm going to release it. Already have a draft, and I already am having people help me to review it. Already have people help me to review it so that I can turn it into draft 2, 3, 4, etc. until it's ready. Also, since there are people here on YouTube, and because a blackout has shrouded you in dark. Oh yeah, of course. Since Russia has attacked Ukraine's energy grid, I'm in the middle of a blackout. I'm using a battery. That's why I can fuel my laptop and I can fuel my internet. There's already been a blackout before. Electricity has been back for 3 hours, give or take, and now it's gone again. Till I don't know when. Maybe it'll come back. If the light turns on during the stream, that means that will mean that the electricity is back. So there we go. How's that? Do you keep your stuff outside outside where? I don't have an outside to keep stuff in. I'm on a pretty high floor, which would be a pretty disadvantageous thing if a missile hit or a drone or anything. It's fine. I usually just go to the corridor when there's a missile alert. And we already had a missile alert today, and there's been explosions in the city. So Russia does not skip a beat. Kyiv has already been attacked tonight. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Oreo. Okay. I got a question for all my viewers right now that are watching. Also, okay, 2 questions. What other streamers do you watch besides me? I feel like I've asked that at some point, but I have to ask it again to see what my overlap is with other people. And also, should I call into President Sunday, who is accepting call-ins today? Emara says, damn, not gonna lie, but kind of checked out from keeping up with geopolitics for most of this past year. That's so real. Yeah, well, you know, it's been a journey. Sunday Brooks Resi occasionally. Okay. I'm gonna try to call into President Sunday today to promote myself. That's maybe because remember, I am on a quest. I'm on a perpetual quest to grow from a micro streamer, and what do you call it? I define micro streamer as a streamer that has between 10 and 20 viewers live regularly, which is kind of sort of me. Sometimes I have less. And a small streamer will be like 50 viewers. 50 viewers per stream. I feel like if I do my best, I can grow from a micro to a small streamer. I feel like I can do it. I have the drive. I watch Riverboat Jack when she's gaming. I watch Brooks. I'm currently watching you both right now, in fact. Oh, nice. Also, Riverboat Jack never raids me. That's sad. That is a sad, sad fact. Riverboat Jack is playing Expedition 33 at the moment. I also haven't finished it. I should finish Expedition 33. Yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see. I have not really uploaded anything related to my journalism on a social platform. I only have that one article that is published in a real life magazine, a Polish magazine, so it can only be read in Polish. It's called the New Eastern Europe magazine, and I'm writing more articles, of course. Right now, I am in contact with my press contact, and I'm going to, during this trip, because I am going to do my best to return within 11 days to Poland to spend some time with my mom, brother, and a dog. Oh yeah, I have a dog now. If you are my viewer from 2 years ago, then you don't know that I have a dog now, a German Shepherd. Actually, I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show him because I have him here. This is my dog. Hold on, I'm gonna show a version that does not. This is my dog. His name is Fido. Oh, he likes to eat books. He's a long-haired German Shepherd. He's very unhappy when I leave to Ukraine every single time. Fido's best boy. So I'm working on releasing my first material when it comes to Ukraine. Put on Asmongold. Oh yeah, I will, actually. I will put on Asmongold because Asmongold went full on Hitler mode. Yeah, Fido. The most stereotypical American name for a dog. You cannot go more American when it comes to dog naming convention, apparently. Yeah, he's a long-haired German Shepherd. He's like a year and a half now. Oh. Electricity's back. Holy moly. I'm so happy. Well, what do you know? Aren't we blessed? Okay, let's see. Mirage. Let's see what President Sunday's up to, first of all. L? Why L? What do you want from me? What do you want from me, Conrad? Why the L comment? I don't get you. I only watch you, basically, says Greater 8. I'm sure. I'm gonna call into him today, okay? Oh yeah, let's see what President Sunday's up to. I'm sure it will be really interesting. I'm sure it will be interesting. Don't be such a downer. God, why are you being such a negative Nancy? I don't know. Is it possible? Is that a thing, blocking people on YouTube? Is that even a thing that's possible to do? 86 people waiting for President Sunday, even though his stream has not even begun yet. Oh, God. You know what? President Sunday might not have the most interesting content to your taste, but you know what? He certainly has people interested in that uninteresting content, okay? Certainly has people that want it. Let's see, how many people are watching me right now? Actively. 6. There you go. So there you go. What's been happening as Asmongold streamers since like 2 years ago? Among streamers. What's been happening among streamers since like 2 years ago? I most heard of this day. Mostly speedrunning towards right-wing pipelines of Zairs and okay. Which streamers do you know? Which streamer do you want to know about? That's my question. 2 years ago was 2023. So which streamer are you curious about? Tell me which streamers you know and I will answer if I have any up-to-date feedback. The person that Conrad apparently blocked is not even a mod. There's a patch day. Should I return to Final Fantasy XIV, by the way? Should I actually return to FF14? It's been a while. How do you know that it's a him? $11,000 viewers? Politics chat December. FF6, we already finished Final Fantasy VI on stream. I stopped watching most because saw their politics go to crap like Lonerbot. Can you list the streamers that you know and I'll give you a quick update apart from Lonerbox. Lonerbox has been focused on Israel lately. very pro-Israel slant. What else can I tell you about Lonerbox? Actually, not much. That's it. That's the biggest thing that Lonerbox has been known for. Oh, and he went to Israel at some point. Oh, wait. Hassan? What has Hassan done again? Did he have a weird rant about Polish people again? Has Hassan been on a weird rampage again? Hassan? Very strangely simping for China, went to China recently. Horrible opinions on Ukraine as from the beginning of the war. And allegedly electrocuted his dog on stream. That's my update for Hassan. Oh. So what streamers do you know from the streaming space, Emma Ross? Apart from Lonerbox, that is, because I know you know Lonerbox, but I don't know who else you know. Who has? I mean, are you? I don't know. You're watching my stream, and I wouldn't say that I've got much of a super mega cool personality, personally. You know, I wouldn't call myself the most charismatic, cool, mega streamer. Did you see the edit with Charlie Kirk and Epstein? I have not. Soran seems latest AOC-style reformist Democrat. No, I'm here for knowledge, though people are with Hassan for his face. Nice. It is nice that you're here for knowledge. I will try to provide some knowledge. I've been doing some... Oof. I've sent it on Twitch. Okay, let me see the Twitch chat. I'm gonna check this link real quick. Oh, never mind. Let me see. What is this? What really happened? My goodness, that is wild. Okay. I'm gonna go one by one and you're gonna tell me if you know them, okay? I'm gonna go one by one with the streamers. Vosh. Horse. Yeah, the horseman. Do you know him? This is my channel. Look at my banner. Oleg Guntar. I'm so glad that we have power now. Used to watch him. He's usually an entry point. An entry point to what? I'm not sure I wanna. He's an entry point to what? Usually has like 5,000 viewers or something live. I know of Vosh. Not watched him in years. Got sick of him. What made you stop watching him? Out of curiosity. Out of eternal curiosity. What made you stop with the Vosh? And how many years have you stopped watching him? Was it before the short stack gobbling tax folder thing? Do any more leftist content on YouTube? He's repetitive, or was. Repetitive in what way? I hope I'm not repetitive. Before. Okay. Before. But you've heard of it. But you have heard of the Goblin Slayer. You are. See, I am. So what's see? Conrad said that I am repetitive, so what is even, okay? Okay, you know Vosh. Okay, then do you know Destiny? Vosh seems to do clickbait titles along the lines of "We're all doomed for real this time." That's true. I remember when I used to watch him, he would debate folks with the same talking points without over expanding more on the theory behind it, likely because he couldn't. What about Destiny? Mr. Bonelli. I stopped when he started being very much in American exceptionalism and calling himself a Bidenist. Vosh is just an edgy lib. I didn't learn much and was mostly political theater entertainment more than informative. I wasn't the target audience. Of Destiny or Vosh? Destiny or Vosh? Gunstiny. I suppose so. Do I have to give a update on Destiny? Do I have to give an update on Destiny's various legal fights that he has been embroiled in recently because of his sexual misconduct allegations? Okay, do all of you know loner bugs then? I'm getting like I'm doing like a little bit of a survey on streamers, I guess. I've gotten what my viewers think of Vosh. I've gotten what my viewers think of Destiny. Now I want to know what my viewers think of loner box. Loser box. About who? Vosh, Destiny, or loner box? Oh, okay. What about you, Emma Ross? Do you know loner box? Yeah, you know loner box as well. Oh, I'm really interested on your opinions on the next streamer that I'm gonna name. I'm really interested. Okay, I was literally an admin for RGR server way back when in 2020, 2021. So I know all of those that were around back then. Oh, yeah. Well, I was around the RGR server back then, so we must have met on the RGR server. So you must know me not just from the day when I was a VTuber. You must have known me way back when I was not even a VTuber, when I was a mute streamer. So what do you think of Xanderhall then? Do we need a whole thing on Xander Hall now? Yes. Yes. That one. Oh, a server. Why was it a dumpster fire of a server? Did he throw up on the stream again? No, he did. He has not done that in a while. It's been pretty calm and throw up less, I think. It has been a throw up less streaming experience. Okay, you've mentioned RGR. So I've gotten a gauge on what you think of Loner Box, which you just said Loser Box, but oh, I've been given this a lot actually. People are just remembering about the law right now. All right, so I guess I'll ask, because RGR has been mentioned. Who is USA Hole? First seems too clickbaity. The way it was run was dire and Riley was intolerable to disagree with. Oh. Okay, so I've mentioned Vosh, Destiny, Xander Hall. I've mentioned Loner Box. What about Dylan Burns? What does my audience think of him? Loner Box likes to do his own research and read about history. I like that. Maybe I should do my own research. I like to read about history. I like to listen to history. I've been listening to this documentary series about the US Civil War. I guess I highly recommend that. I don't know, Gwen Stacy. I don't know. Oh, President Sunday is doing his whole big rant about some guy, some transphobe. So I guess I can get behind that. I guess I can get behind someone being critical of that would be nice. Also, hello Lucy, good stream. Thank you. See? Vladimir knows how to compliment me. Vladimir knows how to be nice. Vladimir is a nice viewer, unlike Conrad, who is a nut. Maroz says, Dylan I never cared enough to pay attention to. He hosted a show for a while with several guest streamers in ENC, RGR, so I didn't value his politics. Oh, well now he does war journalism. In Ukraine, interestingly enough. He's like the only other streamer in the streaming space that does. And he goes and embeds with the Ukrainian military. He has released several documentaries. Very good documentaries, I might add. I highly recommend them. In fact, I will link it in the chat. I recommend it so much that I will link it in the chat. 1 year on the Pokrovsk front line. Paste. It's a very good documentary. It's the city that is the most intense right now in the entirety. This documentary is like a year-long documentation of how the battles in there have been progressing. It's very good. It is very good. I highly recommend it. Always to anybody. So let's see what President Sunday is up to. I'm planning to do some politics today. I'm planning to talk to you about some developments when it comes to the peace negotiations, when it comes to stuff. Also, transphobia that has been getting out of control. It's insane. The amount of transphobia that has been going on Twitter, for one. Elon Musk has been the main champion, the main transphobe on the block, which is very, very disappointing. And what else is... Oh, yeah. Also, we have Asmongold, the other champion of transphobia. President Sunday is here actually criticizing a transphobe. Why is the... I have to unmute.
It is roughly three very dense essays. They are extremely dense. They deal with extremely advanced subject matter.
There are dense essays that are extremely dense. My goodness.
That Butler didn't actually make any arguments, so I'm wrong in having tried to interpret.
And I thought that I was bad in, impromptu talking, but I guess I'm not the only one. These are 3 dense volumes. They're very dense.
None of which were represented in your videos. Only made up arguments that Butler didn't actually write. This is embarrassing for King Critical on a massive level. This is an absolute incompetence.
Should I call in? Should I do a call-in thing?
Because there's actually a way that someone with character could approach this.
I have character.
I didn't understand any of the arguments that made no sense to me. And your critique of my videos didn't make any sense to me either.
Where's the waiting thing?
I will watch it, and if there are critiques that I can understand, I will respond. If I can't understand them, I will ask for clarification.
How do I...
If the clarifications are found wanting, I will explain how they are wanting. I will give...
Oh, thank you for the $2 Canadian. Please tell Conrad he's a coward for me. Conrad, you are a coward. I'm doing this for a viewer. I've been wanting to do something semi-serious, semi-satire or local UK public health failure on COVID and stuff for a bit now. Oh, the UK has been unwell. Let me just say, okay? The UK has not been well.
A coherent explanation.
Okay, how do I sign up for being...
I will give you roughly like my criteria for what would count as a coherent explanation of an argument or a coherent argument. And if it doesn't meet that threshold, then I will carry on my merry way and continue to not take Butler seriously. Perfectly reasonable.
Thank you for the other $2 Canadian. Thank you. You're welcome. Also, please consider joining my page because YouTube takes cuts from any from anything that you donate on YouTube, and if you donate it through the page, then I get most of it. It's true.
So here's the question: does he
Was
find the subject tedious, or is he?
King Critical, trans activist debunks me. Trans women aren't saying they're women. Oh my god. Imagine making a whole channel dedicated to being a transphobe. My whole personality is that I hate trans people, and I have to make several videos about how bad trans people are. YouTube give you engagement though, yeah? Wait, does donating on YouTube actually drive engagement? Is that a thing?
He's scared.
For
Because
sure.
I gotta tell you, a couple days ago, we went over a video of his on stream.
Which one?
Trans activist debunks me. Trans women aren't saying they're women. This video is 37 minutes long. Not that much shorter than my video.
Uh-huh.
And
it's stupid because transphobes are just, oh my gosh, of course.
it is by a channel that doesn't exist.
What?
This is a prepared video.
Oh.
So every now and then people do responses to me and other people ask me to respond. But recently there were two videos that didn't get much attention, one of which nobody mentioned.
And of course, the biggest transphobe is British. Of course, Turf Island, okay? I'm sorry to, no, this is not beating the allegations of the Turf Island thing. Probably a bit.
Mentioned to me at all, and I just found it myself. And that one was actually pretty interesting. It was uploaded by this really small channel as only their second video. And what I liked about it is that this woman was like a spiritualist witch who was unironically arguing that yes, trans identity is valid because trans women are biological males with women's spirits. And I was like,
Imagine building your entire channel around this. Around just trying to be like this. This is your legacy on your deathbed. Oh, I argued that trans women were men. Rest in peace.
wow, that actually sounds really interesting to respond to, because in some sense that is the most coherent way to conceive of trans identity rather than even trying to claim it's anything scientific. But then when I checked their channel to make this video, I saw that they had deleted all of their videos.
So it's like, I don't think it is the case.
Well, in President Sunday's defense, President Sunday actually reads all the time and does research all the time, so. And does theory. I will defend President Sunday, okay, that he does theory. He does theoretical stuff. 187 people watching. How do I call in again? God, I've been flooded with transphobia lately, relentlessly. I've had a little bit of an argument with people about biological essentialism. And when the people that I argued with ran out of arguments, they would go to some video of mine, grab a screenshot, post it and say, oh, so that's how you look like. Well then, disgusting. I guess all of your arguments are just wrong now. Oh, so this is how you look like. This guy, you're disgusting. Oh well. Oh well. It happens.
King Critical finds the subject tedious. I think it is the case that he doesn't have the capacity to answer my video.
President Sunday, always very modest.
I think he accurately recognizes that he does not have the ability to parse those arguments. That he is too dumb, too blunt, too lazy, too cynical, too
Oh,
cowardly,
boy.
and therefore too dumb. Because that's how that works. People aren't bad because they're dumb. People are dumb because they're bad.
I call people dumb as well. I am not above this. I'm not above the occasional "you're an idiot" to people.
I covered this video on a previous stream. Memberships, by the way, are 99 cents Canadian. Security reason for that. But you can watch that if you like. She didn't do a great job, in my opinion.
No?
I had some critiques for that video that he was responding to.
He critiques everyone. How do I...
I disagree. I think he lacks the introspection. Narcissists typically lack introspection.
Uh-oh. I'm in trouble then.
Kind of
I'm a classic. I'm a...
because
I'm a textbook narcissist, so I guess I lack the introspection. Emma Ross says, but as soon as they find us hot, it's... Yeah, I guess I don't have that problem. I don't think bigots will ever find me hot. I'm not passing enough for that. Where's the... How do I call in? Waiting room. Boom. Pow. I'm gonna go to the waiting room too. Okay, I'm in the waiting room. Should I mute myself on Discord? Wait, I'm gonna refresh.
that discourse would be that gender, because that would be a meaningless statement. However,
This is about to be a
that
debate.
does not mean you would default to like
Hello,
primary
hello,
identity is
other
this
person in
sex
the
or
waiting
that
room.
sex. Because even though Butler doesn't reject, obviously, the biological fact that particular biological features are required for the process of reproduction,
Oh boy, oh
the way
boy,
in
oh
which we
boy.
think sex is not simply in terms of biological categories, but in terms of
Biological
the general
capacities
heterosexual presumption.
and other
Namely,
things.
that to have these features is to be attracted to these features for the purposes of reproduction. Faye. Which is not necessarily the case, and is it's acculturated. It's an idea that is spread.
Are we still purity testing, or has Nuance breached the streaming world's collective conscience? Try me, okay? Ask me something and see if I'm gonna purity test you or if I'm gonna be nuanced.
But that's a little bit complicated. A lot of people
Try me.
wrapping their heads around that. I just want to really focus on the fact that gender does not take place at a transcendent level for Butler.
Test me.
The move that Butler makes is the Nietzschean one, which is that when, for example, Descartes says, "I think, therefore I am," cogito ergo sum.
Descartes or Descartes?
He is deriving a separate entity from
Who is Powell?
corporeal existence from the grammar of the sentence, the fact of a predicate implying a subject. But actually, what's happening is not Descartes thinks and therefore is confirmation that he is apart from.
I'm writing
activity
President
of
Sunday
biological existence. Rather,
on the
Descartes
chat.
thinks there is a thinking Descartes. That's what you get from that. Not an extra substance, just the observation that this thing is thinking. And so, when we're
I'm
talking
ready.
about gender, we are specifically talking about someone.
I'm muting myself on Discord for the moment.
Individual
There's another person waiting for in the waiting room. For me. Not for me, for President Sunday.
Community in such a way, whether this is known as public information or not, that they are, if you had a God's eye perspective, more appropriately classified as this gender as opposed to this gender. Does that make sense?
Oh, hello.
So it's not fixed.
All
The
right.
entire notion of gender could go. The notion of gender is itself, in a sense, a kind of gender. Okay. We're going to pull in the first caller, who I think was Powell.
Ooh,
Hello. How are you?
there you go.
You are muted, by the way. It's possible you need the subject role to unmute. Let me sort that. You got it. Okay. Pow, you are on air. You'll have to unmute though. Hey.
Okay. I'm about to call in later
Your
too.
audio is breaking down. I can't
My
really-
God.
Or can you come closer to your mic, perhaps?
Compose yourself.
I can barely hear you. It's not that your volume's too low. It's that you're like roboting.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
So,
There we go. That's a little better.
so basically, just to clarify, what is your position?
Okay. I heard. What is your position? I didn't catch the rest of that.
On this topic, what is your position on the transgender debate?
Can you you'll have to be a bit more specific.
Like I am.
So what is my position on the transgender debate pertaining
What do I-
to like what aspect?
Have you said anything?
Sorry?
Oh boy, Lucy.
I haven't
You
said anything
think
pertaining
that
to-
was transphobic and rude?
I
Wait
apologize,
until you
I'm not trying to
hear
be an
Milo
asshole.
Yiannopoulos' rant about gay people and
You're
Tucker
saying this is
Carlson.
to drop off on the
I did a react to
I don't know.
the...
Yeah.
Oh, Milo Yiannopoulos. No, yeah. Oh
You're good,
gosh.
you're good. Why
Milo
don't you just take,
Yiannopoulos is still a
some sort of
thing?
even tempo, just so I
Is
know
he
if
still
you're-
alive?
I know, like, if I'm-
Also, what did I want to say?
Ask again.
Okay.
What
Asmongold was pretty...
disagreement with critical?
Wait till I tell you Asmongold's transphobia, okay?
It would be easier to say where my agreements are because there are so many. I think in the context of this video, what sort of is immediately to mind is his descriptions of Butler's positions are wrong to the point of slander. Like he just makes up stuff that Butler didn't say, and Butler did actually have specific arguments.
Let me listen to this call in a bit, actually.
That makes
I'm
that
interested.
makes sense. Well, I haven't read the free video mate. Oh, you know. I'm just curious about the transgender debate itself.
Okay, so sorry, I caught you're curious about the transgender debate itself.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Exactly.
Hey, you're very clear right now. Are you like
That's
closer to your
great.
mic?
I'm curious
Yeah.
about the transgender debate. I'm not curious about the transgender debate. The transgender debate should not be a debate.
If you want.
I'm tired of the debate.
I want to like have the conversation. Just I'm struggling to actually understand what you're saying. Like there are periods where it's clear, and then for most of it, it's very like it's low volume, but also it's kind of warbled. And I'm wondering if it's like a proximity thing. If you're like, because I move around a lot when I talk, it's a problem. So
What
Also-
is good about the point made by Critical? He made a follow-up video. He made two videos on Butler. The first one where he talked about the book itself, and the second one where I think he added something. And then he
People
makes the
should
point
fix their
that
audio.
in
I'm
his
saying this
mind,
is a
Butler
leftist
consistently
streamer.
equivocates
Fix
between the
your
concepts
heart
of
or fix
femininity
your
and
audio.
womanhood, the category, and then like does this word game. to
yeah,
advance
well,
the
Butler
features
doesn't.
of
Butler
womanhood.
doesn't do that. So just very quickly, because I can actually explain this pretty easily. So the title of Butler's first essay in Gender Trouble is Subjects of Sex, Gender, Desire, right? So Butler makes the argument that sex is gender. The famous argument. Now I've seen King Critical claim that this is equivocating between gender and sex, because obviously these things work differently, right? Here's the thing.
Correct.
Where is the
Here's
thing?
the thing.
Yeah.
The difference between sex and gender, we generally naively assume, is that sex designates a set of anatomical differences, whereas gender has to do with behavior. Behavior is acculturated, it's a part of your society. Sex, however, is simpler. It's just the anatomical equipment you were born with, right? And its role in a reproductive process. Should that process take place? Yes?
Yes, I agree
Okay.
with that.
Here's the catch. Under
Okay.
conditions of hegemonic heterosexuality, there is also a presumed natural desire that is heterosexually oriented.
That's true.
In simpler terms,
That's true.
what that means
I agree.
is that there is a cultural assumption that being a woman means your default is you are attracted to men, and if you're attracted to women, that's aberrant. And if you're a man, you're attracted to women, and if you're attracted to men, that's aberrant.
What if you're a
So now
trans
we're
woman that's
confused
attracted to men?
through desire, right? So sex has become not just an anatomical thing, because of course the actual anatomical workings of sex were not known until relatively recently in human history. It specifically implicates ideas of like what is the appropriate desiring direction based on the idea that reproduction is a purpose.
Yeah, I agree with what he's saying here.
A purpose sort of lying above it. I apologize.
I agree with what he's saying here.
If I got it, the position she's laying down is that there's sex.
To put it shortly, there's an assumption of
so sorry.
what should
Try
be
saying that one
of
more
the
time and try
normal.
wherever you were before, it was very clear then. Try positioning yourself that way.
There is the assumption of the normal. Oh my God, this person should go.
You're like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I actually cannot hear what you're saying.
Listen,
Can you try
I at least have a good microphone
I'm so sorry. I know
on
it's
my
so
shoulders.
I'm very close to my home. Can I go home and come back to you?
Oh, can you go home and call from there?
Yes, please, go home. Don't call from your phone. Jesus Christ, why do people do this? Why do people do this?
I didn't understand that, but I...
From underwater, yeah.
Okay.
I can hear that. I hear that.
Hey, Lucy, how you doing?
Oh, hello. Am I in?
Lucy, you're live and you're muted still. If you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Hello. Sorry about that.
Hey, you're good.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm back in Kyiv. I just came back to Ukraine to do more journalism. Actually, journalism, since I've been published. Yes.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, in a Polish magazine. How do you call a magazine that comes out once per 3 months? 3 monthly? Is that correct? Tri-monthly?
It would be tri-monthly. It'd be tri-monthly.
Tri-monthly, yeah. It's about children, kidnapped children. That's basically the main focus of my work in here.
Yeah.
I just do interviews with families and children.
So Lucy, very quickly, is a historian who works out of Poland but travels to Ukraine to do research and report and help with stuff. Help with like, I guess what do you help with? It's like with just general like logistical stuff, right? Like just helping.
Well, I mostly do interviews with families and children. Like the children in war is my main topic. Children that live in Ukraine proper that suffer from bombing. I think.
Sorry, it'd be quarterly, Lucy. I'm sorry, my brain is so tired right now. I was thinking like from the. Oh no, you go to higher increments for. Moving on. Sorry, as you were saying.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
You were saying like every 3 months should be quarterly because a year is 12 months. I'm just like.
Oh. And it's like children that are bombed, suffer from drone attacks, they live in Ukraine. And their situation, the education gap, that's been a big thing that I've been focusing on. For example, there are children in Ukraine that have never experienced education in a real classroom, Never ever in their life, because it started with COVID and then almost immediately the war started. So they basically had no experience. And a lot of schools have been bombed, destroyed. It's a whole thing. And then there are kidnapped children who are being Russified to be future Russian soldiers to fight against Russia's enemies in the future. And that has been happening since 2014. And then you have children in occupied territories that are being also rescued from there. So that's a whole conglomerate of topics that I'm dealing with when coming here. And now I'm planning to interview children that have directly been harmed by Russian munitions, bombs, drones, and that sort of thing. There's been an 11-year-old boy that has been talking to the European Union who survived the bombing. So that's going to be the project that I'm going to be doing now as I am in Ukraine.
Okay, cool.
Yes. And I've also listened into your talk before with the person that had a horrible microphone. That's interesting in the trans debate. And I'm going to be honest, I am tired of the trans debate. I think it should not be a debate.
God.
I don't think it should be up for debate.
Unfortunately, right now, the situation is it's the not being a debate thing is transphobes call the shots.
Yeah.
So
I just see transphobia every single day.
It is tedious, though. It is tedious.
Yeah, when the boss of the biggest, more used social platform is openly endorsing transphobia, Mr. Elon Musk, right? He's putting out transphobic messaging every single day from what I've been seeing.
No, he's been going after every group.
Oh yeah. He's been calling for the dismantling of the European Union. Have you heard about that?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So it's been an intense time. And also, of course, does your video tackle the whole biological argument? Your video about transphobia?
Referring to which? The idea that gender is downstream from biology in some sort of intrinsic way?
The idea that people are fixed to... The idea of a very rigid binary structure of sex, which is based on the fact that
I don't cover that stuff. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit when I'm doing the Bogardus book review, because that's when you get into the Fausto Sterling stuff.
Oh,
but not in this one. This one is strictly about Butler. Butler's gender trouble doesn't really get into that so much.
Okay. Because there's a lot of this argumentation about how
I would say that like gender trouble gets you to a point where the notion of that being fixed doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because it breaks down the framework wherein you would have those rigid categories as like sort of permanent fixtures of any discourse. But
I feel like it at least does not make sense from the perspective of how a lot of those people approach it, which is there's a certain way biology is set to be, a perfect way, a pathway, if you will, that is the language that they use, 2 pathways to male and female, and they are perfect, and anything else is just an imperfection happening. And my usual response is that, first of all, perfection and imperfections are not really a thing in biology, right? There's no notion of, we're moving towards the perfect and this thing is imperfect. It assigns a lot of...
Well, I'm working on a video that's responding to a few people who are talking, like I forget what her name is actually. I have to remember her name when I do the video response to that. But there are people who will talk about, we've looked at brain scans of children in like this year.
Yeah.
And we correlated this to the fact that children are not reading whole books in school, and the weird implication that nobody ever talks about that is like, so are they not reading, or do you have like some weird notion of like a whole book yields substantively different information than excerpts do when they are targeted in a particular kind of way? And it's like, obviously every single like type of writing will have different information, completing a writing will have different information, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But the idea that there's like an intrinsic loss when you read more in excerpts in terms of like whole books and so on and so forth, which by the way, like my preference is for whole books, but when you're talking about like courses that are targeted towards like particular topics and are attempting to like generate competency,
right,
I don't see a clear argument there. But like they will talk about brain scans and they'll show like, these parts of kids' brains are activated less. And it's like, okay, what do you think that means? And there's a whole lot of stuff that people like don't understand when they refer to fMRIs as indications of like we have an ability to actually track what brains are doing. And it's like, at the level of blood flow, we can magnetically detect the flow of blood, which is very useful. It allows us to map the flow of blood in the brain. It allows us to make certain inferences given certain theories of how that corresponds to certain cognitive processes where certain things are, where certain regions of the brain are implicated. But you cannot use fMRI to get to a conclusion about this type of thought is not working as hard or working as properly or as ideally based upon this fMRI. In addition to all of this, and it baffles me that nobody ever brings this up. Like, if you're going to talk on YouTube about like fMRIs, and any sort of like, it's like, okay, you've seen a picture of a map of a brain. Whose brain is that? And the answer is it's nobody's. It is nobody's brain. Why? Well, because as you were saying, there is no perfection in biology, both teleologically and in terms of there is no like ideal model that people necessarily like follow. So
Yeah.
that brain picture is a composite of many brains. How many brains you can't actually tell from the image. What theories are going into what brain activity is, what regions are responsible for what, not determinable by
And
the
a lot of
image.
it is interpreted, like just playing interpretation, right? You sort of read
Oh,
into it
well,
what you
try
want
this
to.
on. Try this on for size. There is a time delay sometimes a significant time delay between an action being performed and the region lighting up.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's like this. Here's the thing. Like this is not like downplaying the importance of fMRI. Super important. But like the problem is, it's like any sort of like observation. It is observation via a medium. There is no such thing as direct seeing. But people have this notion because they see a picture of a brain lighting up on a computer generated image that therefore we can see what's happening in the mind, but we can't even actually see, to be clear, what's happening in the brain. We have analogs that we track and they give us indications.
Yeah.
And they are like we combine these studies on many different patients.
Yeah. This
in
kind
order to
of
generate. Yeah.
this kind of touches upon the problem that with the pathways thing that I was talking about earlier. This kind of
Yeah.
argumentation that I've been seeing when people observe a thing that happens
Yeah.
and then build a whole interpretation upon it, like as if this is supposed to be happening this way, as if ascribing intentionality into biology that just doesn't exist, or a sense of purpose that it is supposed to be happening, going in this direction, right? Like it's
Yeah.
almost as if people become atheists, because a lot of people that talk like that are atheists, but they just replace the notion of a God that created everything with a purpose, and they sort of replace it with nature that creates things with a purpose, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I apologize. I've got a couple other people waiting. Was there like a specific point that you wanted to bring up before I move on, or
Oh no,
was
I
it just more of a general thing?
I was just
Okay.
more of a general thing. I can hear too.
We haven't talked in a little while, by the
Check
way.
up.
By the way, chat, subscribe to Lucy Haze, Haze on YouTube for Ukrainian news and history streams and gaming streams. She's very good.
Yes. Oh, and I'll be doing a big rehaul. I'm actually. Oh, there is one last thing that I can say before taking my leave. I'm kind of preparing to start uploading the stuff that I'm doing in Ukraine. I already have a draft of my first interview that I have with a 16-year-old from Bakhmut. You know Bakhmut, right? The city that's been the longest and the bloodiest battle of this war. So
yeah, so subscribe to
yes.
Lucy's channel to see that when that comes up.
Yes, there's gonna be on a new channel.
And join the
and
join the Discord server, because we'll have to set up your. Well, I guess you can still just post with that channel with your account in the Discord server. So join the Discord server if you want to see updates for that channel as well, because Lucy posts channel updates there as well.
Yeah.
Hey, we haven't talked in a little while. You have stay safe out there, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Right, that's been my... Should I disconnect?
Oh, I gotcha.
All right, that's been my call in. How was it? What's... How was it, you know? How did that go? Good job, nice work. Yeah. So there we go. Also, Vladimir, what do you mean when you say the MRI argument defies the things in a deliberately vague way? All right. That was nice. Do you have a rough idea how long until your interview with us, with the 16-year-old will be up? So I have made a draft that is called Draft 0. I'm giving it to people for review, and I'm waiting for that review so that I can I'm planning to release it this week. But I just, plans are plans and reality is reality. There's been many people that have been always posting brave and confident plans only to be disappointed. So I'll do my best. Once I get this ready, I'm gonna start a new channel for it. Of course, I'm gonna bam it up on the Discord. It's gonna be great, and it's all gonna be very, very nice. You'll see. The draft is actually maybe better than I thought. I personally think it needs a lot of work, but what is he talking with this person about?
However,
Better microphone?
talk about the people who have those different levels of those different sets of equipment, or amalgamations in the rare case when something happens odd in the translation process genetically. We attach things that aren't strictly features of biology. Like, for example, normative assumptions of in what direction their sexual desire should go, or if they have any.
Yeah.
Whether there's something wrong, for example, or aberrant with not being attracted to some person, or being attracted to some person, and so on.
I should be attracted to all people.
From an anatomical distinction
Anatomically.
to a normative one. And insofar as you were doing so, sex now, as it is represented in discourse, is a subcategory of gender. It's not that sex and gender are the same thing. It's that sex is gender, but that doesn't mean that gender is sex. Gender accounts for all sorts of things, right? So, yeah. So that's the point that's being made. There isn't an equivocation taking place. Because, of course, one of the things that... Oh, go on. Sorry?
I'm listening into this debate.
From what I understand, to argue that womanhood itself is a sort of a performance that you can attack. That he talks about, I think, drag queen, and how the person, I don't know if she has critical.
He does talk about drag. They do talk about drag, yeah.
Yeah, in thought that the performance
Also,
literally made
by the way, what I wanted to say, oh gosh, I wanted to say something, but I've been, oh god, I lost it. I wanted to say something brilliant, intelligent, profound, something deep, but ADHD, I guess, or early onset Alzheimer's. I lost it. I lost it. I was about to go deep. I was about to go very deep on this whole conversation.
Statement. What does constitute the category itself? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, it is?
So that's an interesting statement. What does constitute the category itself?
You should have told me.
I think it is.
You should have told me that you could not hear any. Oh god, why didn't anybody tell me? You should have told me. I would have. There. I would have done this. Now I will have to very creatively edit this crap. It's gonna be a elective. It's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a process. An erective process. Yeah, but there's been so many people in the chat all this time watching my black screen and nothing, no feedbacks whatsoever.
I didn't catch that. Can you say it one more time?
Yes. Are you
I am so glad that I've not covered any news yet. You know, over the President Sunday call-in, I can just put in whatever. I can put in Fido. Okay, and it'll be fine.
talking about womanhood, or like generally what makes something what it is?
Well, you said the word womanhood. What constitutes the category womanhood? What constitutes the category womanhood in your judgment?
Listen, always assume it's not, okay? Never assume it's intentional. Never assume intentionality when the easiest solution is stupidity or something. Have I not taught you that throughout the streams? It's okay. It's my failure.
The female sex.
Say it again.
This sort of quirkiness is why you love watching Lucy, because Lucy's not perfect. Like all of these other streamers that are professional and stuff. You're like, I am me, okay? And that makes me great. Isn't that right? Isn't that how it goes? Where is that? Huh. Where's the thing? Oh. Oh my gosh. I hope I did not screw up. Have I screwed up? Lucy, I don't know how to describe very accurately and shortly. It's like with the law in the USSR. Oh boy.
Being an adult
No,
human female.
I apologize. Your audio is coming in and out, and I lost like half that sentence. Can you try saying that one more time? Like, what constitutes the category? I heard the last word. So I didn't hear the stuff before then.
Oh my god.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you when you say, "Can you hear me now?" But it's
There you go. At least when I called in, my audio was not total garbo. Okay, at least that was a thing. Moist. Who is perfectly moist?
seems like it goes in and out.
Okay. I was walking around. Sorry.
Okay. Try to stay super still, because it seems to like
ADHD. I was pacing around because I've got ADHD. Got him. Oh wait, do I have that? Oh man, I did not click the double transmission on the stream. Moist cake. Yeah. Very moist.
it seems to be very fidgety on your end.
Okay.
Okay, should we just do the thing soon?
Would be that what constitutes the category woman itself, the semantic core for the term, is being an adult human female. And an adult human female would be a human being. Do you agree that human beings exist?
A human being? French scholar?
Which is an adult. Do you agree that adults exist?
Yeah.
It's a real category?
Yeah.
Dogs do not exist. Dogs are fake. My dog is fakest of them all. Fido is fake. Is that what you want to hear? Fido is a fake dog. Okay, now I have to defend the notion that dogs exist. Hold on. Here you go. I'm covering up President Sunday's chat. So there you go. This is pure evidence that dogs in fact exist.
And then it has an anatomy, a body that is directed towards the production of the large gamete called ova.
There you go. Directed towards production. I'm so glad this is being brought up. I'm so glad that the argument that President Sunday has been discussing with me is being brought up now. Directed at the production of. There you go.
Basically, that would be the position that he would posit. I am not certain if he believes like in literally teleology or he
I think sure. If you were equivocating between that and woman, I would disagree in terms of like Say that again.
No, that is. I'm not certain. I'm watching a bunch of Critical's videos now. I'm kind of liking him. I know you did like him.
No, that's fine.
Here's
what I would say. Okay, and I brought this up in the previous conversation as well. When Butler is talking about gender categories, Butler is not saying that certain gender categories are valid or invalid. The point is that the context in which they make sense is in discourse, not in terms of sort of reality outside of human existence. Which I think is obvious, because these are, when we're talking about categories, we're talking about categorizations made by humans. We don't have categories naturally. We have to kind of reason to them based on common features between things, right?
just clarifying: is Butler making a nominalist argument or a conceptualist argument?
I would say neither. What Butler is talking about is the contingency of speech on history and the contingency of categories on speech.
Can you up this volume?
Oh yeah, but she's still advancing
I can.
a theory of categorization. What makes a category exist or not? I think she's
not
making
really.
the point.
No.
We're gonna start doing the things that I was supposed to do on stream soon, by the way. We're gonna actually do the things in the title of the stream.
I would not say so. I would not say that they are. They're presuming a lot of things. They're taking essentially a Nietzschean tack, which is all categorizations are downstream from human practice. And all perceptions are downstream from specifically human utility, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would be basically the point. I think the point Critical would make is that basically she's wrong about what womanhood is, and he's making a sexist essentialist argument that it refers to this. I would argue that my vision on this topic, now I should talk about my vision itself, is that I don't really think it can be reasonably argued that man and woman refer to anything other than biological categories.
Why?
Because of, I think that for us to retain,
I'm gonna go and, I don't know, put on my biological skirt because it's clearly tied to a biological category. My biological gloves.
Make sense of history, or the history of the term. It necessitates anchoring it on something, and that's something, the most likely explanation.
That argument doesn't seem to actually help us very much, and if you'll allow me. It seems like what you're saying is that we need to conceive of man and woman as corresponding specifically to anatomical structures because there is a usefulness in doing so for our understanding of history. I'm not going to interrogate what that means. That doesn't make sense to me, though. But leaving that aside, that does not actually... we could, for example, hypothetically have our aim being accuracy and truth, in which case the utility of thinking in these terms would be sort of irrelevant. It certainly is irrelevant to me. I'm not really concerned about the usefulness of these categories for discerning history, because if the categories are for some reason not trustworthy, that doesn't actually culminate in me understanding history. That culminates in me misunderstanding history according to false premises. Right?
I'm not making an utilitarian argument. What I'm rather making is a semantic argument, which is that
semantic argument.
For us to understand the meaning of the word historically, the only logical meaning it can have, the semantic core for the term, must be sex.
Okay, so hang on.
Why? Why can't it be the only logical? Because you say so? Oh, we're all women because we all wear kilts, I guess. True. You're just defining just anybody that wears a kilt and is a male, biological male, just,
hang on. So if I may, so what you're saying is not that we need this understanding of sex and gender in order to understand the past. What you're saying is that based off of the hang on one moment, I apologize.
I will never apologize.
Of the past, based on the material that we have handed down to us from the past, that is the most reasonable derivative conclusion about what these terms mean, sort of in general.
Yes, I don't mean descriptively. I don't mean normatively. I'm not making the argument for the terms continuing to be biological.
Okay.
I'm making the argument that for us, if we examine history, the most logical conclusion from the data is that these terms refer specifically to adult human male, adult human female.
How do you
What
account?
what
and then-
data?
This is going to sound kind of dumb, but how do you account for cultures that have multiple, like more than 2 genders that obviously do not just correspond to adult human male
I
and female?
say,
They are uncultured. There you go.
I would
Uncivilized.
say that it's possible for a society through metaphysical and spiritual speculation to effectively hallucinate a category that does not really exist.
Well,
Basically.
if I may though, hang on. What if
Make it
hypothetically though you had a situation
Hypotheticals are for
all
losers.
males just died spontaneously. They're all gone. And
Uh-oh.
there's just anatomical
Whoops.
females left. Everybody who's ambiguous, who just everybody except for like the most ideal anatomical females continue to exist on Earth,
Okay.
and they cannot reproduce because that's all that exists. Technically,
Yikes.
that other category
I'm
would
in
not
trouble.
be possible. It would have the same level of reality as what you are calling hallucinated third or fourth genders or whatever, right?
Well, yes.
In fact, a little less so because people are actually ascribed to those genders. We have examples of them even in present day.
I kind of reject your hypothetical because we're humans. We are sexed animals, and I think this kind of
What does
is a
that
big
mean?
part of our.
What does that mean? You say sexed animals. What does that mean?
We are animals that reproduce through sex.
Sure. You think
We
Mother
have sex.
disagrees with
we have
that?
production. No, no. My argument with you now, not about Mother specifically.
Okay.
We're sexy
We are
animals.
sex animals, and I mean, imagining a world where males do not exist, because for male, I think that for your argument to work, males must not only not exist in practice, but I think in principle for the category to be fictitious.
Well, actually, you're
My point is
you're
that
putting your finger on the point that I'm making, which is that you don't need an example of any of these third or fourth genders even existing in order to point out that there's a distinction between sex and gender, such that they don't necessarily follow from one to the other, right? Or if they do, it might be because of linguistic and cultural reasons, and not because of some kind of philosophical necessity.
Oh, wait.
No,
What?
I
Oh,
understand
yeah.
that. My point is that when these societies posit the existence of these
Okay, I think we're almost done here,
categories,
and we're gonna go
these are
and
ones I have seen. I've not studied the
And
At least the ones that
go
have
to the
what, sorry?
topics. But first, I'm gonna go to the toilet.
I'm talking
gonna
about
toilet.
the societies that I have usually seen. I have seen like some writing on third gen.
I'm gonna do super toilet things. Okay. Also, press like on the stream, please. I beg you to do this for me. What happened here? I'm gonna do the Hassan thing, and I'm gonna let this run for a bit, and then I'm gonna be back from the toilet. Okay? You're gonna experience a cool thing happening. I'll be right back.
etc. does not actually exist in the outside world, and then we completely made it up. But rather say that they're making a claim about the world that makes no sense because it parts from the false premise that there's like spirit animals and such that you can interact with.
When we're talking about
That's
gender as opposed to sex, right? Let's just take the naive view that sex is to gender as nature is to sex, right? Sort of the one produces the other one, this sort of downstream, that strict hierarchical order. We're not going to entertain the idea that sex is gender right now. The differentiation we are making is between behaviors and activities, including, by the way, like expressive ones, like what you dress as like a part of behavior, who you are normatively expected to be romantically oriented towards as behavior, and so on. We are distinguishing that from what is understood to be a biological category. And we pointed out ways in which it's not just a biological category, in which like culture like imposes expectations on desire. But let's leave that aside. It's a biological category. The bare fact that you can possibly separate these two, behaviors from anatomy, means that even if they do completely align, gender and sex are different. Now, the fact that gender and sex are different in this way already suggests that in principle, they could be separate. You can imagine ways in which they don't align. You can imagine ways in which, for example, a anatomical male is attracted to other anatomical males, or to nobody, or so on, right? And they would
I
not.
think
Sorry.
you are misunderstanding my position and that of critical. Our position is not that gender does not exist and that is not truly distinct from sex. Our position is two positions. One, that the terms in history have not actually been used to refer to the categories man and woman. And two, that it should not be used to do that. And critical argues, and I think I
Wait.
that
If you'll forgive me, which categories have not been used historically to refer to man or woman?
I'd say that gender does not constitute manhood and womanhood itself, or sorry, there's one thing. And if it does, it was a misapprehension of malehood and femalehood. I think that's what his position would be.
What does that mean?
It means that when a person was saying, for example, that the man should not have sex with men,
I've returned.
the subject.
Are you enjoying the debate?
A male. It literally meant someone with a
Male and
penis,
female.
etc. And he was making a judgment that. And when he said that he was acting womanly, he said it was meant to say that he was acting in the way that women ought to do, or that women generally do,
Right.
and that he was breaking a norm that was about the sex male. That was the thing he was
It
referring
was
to.
breaking the
That's right.
sex
But
norm.
see, you just collapsed sex and gender again, because now we're talking about normative behaviors, right?
No, I'm talking about how the term was historically used.
No, but I understand this, of course. Like, Butler wouldn't need to write the book if we already had like clean differentiations between social practice and biological necessity. But
I have the cleanest differentiations of them all.
I'm not like collapsing the terms. I'm saying that, or maybe I am.
I think you are a little bit, with all due respect.
Right. Right.
That's okay. Go
My
on.
point basically is that the subject of the term man and woman,
Should I debate more?
when it was used, was the sexes, and that the gender was sort of recognized as being a part of it.
Well, that's precisely my point, though. So one of the things that people from Beauvoir onwards and before then actually would argue is that actually people are entrained to particular kinds of behaviors by their society, and sex and gender are not identical. Directionalities of desire not actually entailed.
Started a poll.
Normative roles in society and so on and so forth. These are downstream from cultural inheritances of institutions. These are not downstream from your anatomy. Maybe some things are downstream from anatomy. You can imagine all sorts of alternate histories in which different things happened that caused different arrangements of roles, or more roles as opposed to fewer roles. That's why you have, for example, cultures that have more than two genders.
Only 2 people have voted so far.
You asked earlier about is age a real thing, and all of these things are real things. But
age is a fake thing.
Is marriage a real thing?
Well, I don't really want to get into that.
Oh, I didn't catch you mention the channel changes. Oh, you already know about the channel changes, Greater Int. You'll know everything. You know everything about everything that I'm up to. You're up to date.
That because I'm not certain about this, but
that's why I want to get into it. Is marriage a real?
Oh no, people want me to do the topics. People actually want me to work and not play games.
Marriage literally exists and was created by God. Okay. But I don't want to defend that position.
Who's frustrated by God?
I can work with that. So, marriage exists. In what capacity does marriage exist?
In all capacities.
Well, the Catholic position, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, the Catholic position.
When he created Adam and Eve, instituted the sacrament of marriage, which was later formalized in the church. I think you flirted or was interested in Christianity in your earlier years, so I think you should know this.
I was Christian in my early years. I'm well aware of this. I'm trying to understand your position. So I'm trying to break this down a little bit. So, when you're talking about marriages really literally exists.
Vladimir says the gender is a continuation of the Jewish Bolshevism. I'm done playing with the
really coming down.
Semantics.
Okay.
Or with the semantics.
I'm angering somebody upstairs. No, but is there an actual substance? One moment. I apologize. There's a super chat. I should have turned
At Radical Dash said 1x super chatted $5. Question for caller. Does acting like a man have no inherent meaning, and if it does not, does his religion have no justification for gender roles?
Thank you, Radical. If marriage literally exists, is there a structure somewhere that actually exists that you could point to as a thing in the world that actually links people together when they are married? Like, this is the marriage substance? I'm going to assume your answer is going to be no.
No.
Okay, is there one at some metaphysical level? Like, is there a cosmic link, or would that be referred, for example,
A godly
to a
link.
relationship with God? Relationship with
Thank
God?
you, Emma Ross. Thank you so
I'd
much
say
for being
something
here.
like that.
Okay.
I'm not
So-
sure. I've never read about this, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's fair. But the point I'm getting at, though, is that in this case, you would still be dealing with a social construct, just a social construct in which God is a part of the society. Because you're talking
Okay,
about-
that's enough. I've had enough. It's enough debate, okay? Now we have to do the thing that I promised in the title. I cannot dilly-dally any longer. I cannot just... I cannot, okay? I cannot do this. I've done this too long. How long has this stream been so far? Hold on. Like a billion hours? 1 hour. It's been 1 hour and 37 minutes of stalling, okay? I don't think you want any more stalling. I mean, when you were on the Prison Sunday stream, how did I do, Greater Ain't? Did you like the call-in thing that I did? Have you enjoyed? Oh, we have received uploaded a new segment. The new segment has been uploaded. Isn't that great? You're muted for 37. I was not muted for 37 minutes. What? What do you mean? No, that's a lie, okay? I was not muted for 37 minutes. Come on. Was I? Was I actually muted for the first 37 minutes? Was a good talk? Thank you. All right, let's do this. Asmongold. So there's this, I don't know how to call it, argument. There's this war between this trans person and Asmongold. Asmongold, who I guess I am shocked to learn might be a bit of a how should I put it? How should I word it? He might be a little bit of a bigoted individual. Just a little bit. But it says here, Asmongold on suspension over genocide comments. I've slowly been devolving into the most mean-spirited, psychopathic version of myself. He actually said that. He actually said that when he was trying to walk back his whole thing about not caring about Palestinians being genocided. He did say that he is growing into his most mean-spirited, awful version. But I guess he doesn't care, because he's like, if you notice that you're becoming the most mean-spirited, psychopathic version of yourself, wouldn't the way to go, I don't know, wouldn't the way to go be to course correct? To try to be less mean, less psychopathic? Wouldn't that be the way to try to heal? But no, I guess we're in this timeline now. This person that's having this argument with Asmongold. Okay, look at this. Once the Nazification of the US is over, they'll have to add laws and regulations to free speech in order to protect hate speech. Being allowed to maliciously spread misinformation without consequences, and thus normalizing fascist propaganda is bad for our country, actually, says Niara. And look at what his reaction to this is. Observe.
Once the Nazification of the US is over, they'll have to add laws and regulations to free speech in order to not protect hate speech. Being allowed to maliciously spread misinformation without consequences and thus normalizing fascist propaganda is bad for a country, actually. I've got really bad news for you.
Guess what the bad news are? Guess what the bad news are?
Is that... What do you think happens whenever people like me, or people that are more extreme than me, inevitably get control of the government?
That is an unhinged thing to say. That just sounds insane. What do you think when extremists or even more extreme people than me get into power?
What do you think happens to all the people that were tweeting nonstop about trans kids? What happens to them?
Well, what does happen to them? Like, when we get into power, we're gonna deal with you. Your days are numbered. This is just insane. This is so over the top.
And now you can see why these people are so extreme. It's because I think on some very, very base level, they know their days are numbered.
Okay, he even said it.
There is not any degree of activism, virtue signaling, crying, like victimhood that's going to save you. It's going to happen. And it's your fault. It's all your fault.
So we're coming to get you. We're going to get into power. Advocating for trans children is just going to put you on our hit list. And inevitably, once we are the ones in charge, we are going to deal with this whole topic. We're going to deal with the trans kids, and we're definitely going to deal with you. Okay, please tell me, does that not sound unhinged to you? A little bit crazy? Does that sound reasonable to you? Yeah, we're just, we hate you. We hate that trans people exist. We hate that the notion of young people being trans existing, and once we get into power, we will erase this whole thing from existence and we will get rid of you. Which, by the way, is something that is already happening under Donald Trump. But, that is basically already happening under Donald Trump, who keeps screaming about transgender for everybody. Donald Trump has stopped transgender for everybody. I did not expect that. Come on. I know Asmongold has really bad and stupid takes. I know that Asmongold just keeps coming up with stupider and stupider political takes. And I will still remind you that he is, I think, one of the, if not the biggest political commentator online. And he comes up with gems like, oh yeah, Palestinian people should just be genocided and I don't care. And now it's, oh yeah, no level of activism, no level of crying, and no level of being a victim will save you from us once we get into power. Once we get into power, it's over. It's so over for you once we get into power. You don't even know how much. You don't even know how much is going to be over for you. Okay, that's wonderful. This is basically the future that people like Asmongold want. It's damn. What am I even supposed to say to this? Like, I've been talking to President Sunday during my call-in how I've been getting transphobia every single day on Twitter. And this is a perfect example of it. But it's getting so over the top. It's getting so blatant. How is that not considered a threat against a minority and banned from platforms? Says one of my lovely viewers, or asks one of my lovely viewers. Well, the answer is that the owner of this platform, X or Twitter, as we may dead name it, is the biggest transphobe of them all. He says that trans people are trans because of a woke mind virus. He says that his daughter, who is trans because of a woke mind virus, and that his child is dead. The child is dead and it's all gone. So what do you expect? Why would you expect these kind of things to be banned on X when the owner endorses it? In fact, on Twitter, you get punished when you use words such as cis. If you write the word cis in any of your posts on Twitter, you will receive a warning that it's hate speech, that you're engaging in hateful conduct, and that the visibility of your tweet will be limited now because you're using just hateful language, which, interestingly enough, does not gel very well with Elon Musk's continuous talk about free speech, how his platform is about free speech, about telling uncomfortable truths, things that you cannot tell or say anywhere else. It's pretty pathetic if you think about it. It's a type of hypocrisy when you claim to be a free speech platform, but then warn people for the use of everyday words. But what am I supposed to do? It's insane. Let me see. This person has more. This is an ongoing thing. A VTuber. How big is this person even? Let me see. How big is this person's platform? $12,000. It's not that small. A lot bigger than me. But a lot smaller than Asmongold. Transphobia allowed content creators to be factually wrong for a living. It is impressive how the dumbest people get paid so much money to spread misinformation and lie about 1% of the population that just wants to be left alone and not get abused for who they are. I mean, we've already seen that there's a person that built his whole YouTube career around attacking trans people. Where is the Asmongold thing? Oh, there we go. This is the first time Asmongold actually engaged with my take regarding HRT, and it's embarrassing. Bro thinks I'm the reason why gay marriage is going to get repelled, and he wants to force trans kids through the wrong puberty because 99% don't need this healthcare. Okay, let's take a look. This is the biggest political commentator. It's very, very discouraging. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look-see.
minors can't consent to
I'm going full mask off, by the way.
HRT, then they can't consent to puberty.
If they can't consent to it's crazy to me, like how people still don't understand the take. Puberty induced through HRT is mechanically the same as puberty induced through your natural produced hormones. So if you're saying that, oh, because 16-year-olds do not know their gender identity, they don't know if they're a boy or a girl, they don't know the right path.
You don't go through puberty at 16.
What? Okay.
them. You give them puberty blockers in order to give them time and so on. But a lot of these people are like, no, you have to go through your quote-unquote natural puberty before you go on HRT, right? You have to wait.
Oh my god, this person's gonna get gay marriage banned.
I have no idea what... I have no idea what gender affirming healthcare has to do with gay marriage, but you know, it's all the same. It's all the same to Asmongold. Young people going on puberty blockers, gay marriage, it's just all the same. It's just a big blob. It's just a big blob. It's all the same.
This radicalizes people so much against LGBT stuff. This is the reason why support for gay marriage is going down. Because you have these mentally ill freaks that are on Twitter saying stuff like this. And again, I think that's the main reason.
Yeah, mentally ill freaks saying those things that health professionals endorse. I guess those I don't know. I guess those medical professionals are just freaks as well. Oh, there are young people that are not entirely sure. They think they suffer from gender dysphoria. They want time to think. They want to know. They want to be sure if they really want to transition. So they go on puberty blockers to have that time, not to go for a puberty that they will regret later for the rest of their lives. It's as simple as that. But I guess to Asmongold here, that's rhetoric of a freak.
It is.
Wait until you're 18. This is what I'm calling out. This is like...
Does he even know what he... Of course he does not know what he's talking about. That's not a new phenomenon for Asmongold here. The biggest political commentator.
The hypocrisy that I'm trying to point out, but obviously this is just lost on the people who have no fucking idea what is happening.
It's not hypocritical. This idea that like it's hypocritical to not to force to let children go through puberty. What's wrong with you?
HRT
minors can't consent to HRT. They can't consent to puberty.
If they can't consent to HRT.
What do you mean let children go through puberty? Like he doesn't know anything on this about the subject. It's completely not new for Asmongold. That is actually on brand for Asmongold to talk about things that he has no clue about.
HRT, how do you justify forcing them through puberty? For some reason, HRT is something irreversible, like life ruination or whatnot, and puberty is like this holy...
Oh, it's now just one big buffer zone.
Yeah, I know.
Just to be absolutely clear, we are not talking about psychological counseling.
Oh man, is the internet going bad now?
We are not talking about puberty blockers. We are talking about hormone replacement therapy.
No, we're talking about hormone. There's no talk of HRT for kids. Like that's a lie.
We are talking about hormone replacement therapy to children, the effects of which are permanent and irreversible.
That's not true.
You know what else is irreversible and permanent? Puberty. My body is permanent.
Yeah, but we are very much talking about puberty blockers.
Puberty. My body is permanently damaged.
Yeah, that's the point. So should you do something that 99% of people want or 1% of people want?
What kind of a stupid argument is that? Should we do something that 99% of people want or 1% of people want? What kind of a stupid argument is that? It's not about what the majority of people want. It's about what the specific people need. Like if 99% of people just suddenly decided that heart surgery should be banned, then why should it be banned? Because 99% of people would want it? It's not a plebiscite. Like the protection of minorities is not a plebiscite.
I
wonder.
And I feel better about it. Yeah, I get it.
Yes, you wonder about this because you're stupid and you don't understand what representative democracy is even.
That's why puberty blockers are, useful. So you are not.
Well,
how is that even relevant to the topic? What 99% of people want?
again, cry about it. Everything else, yes, this has an expiration date.
What has an expiration rate?
This does. This weird, disgusting,
Thank you, Elon Musk, for this wonderful platform. This is great.
Weird, disgusting, intrusive, perverted.
What? Yeah, I used to talk to a person from France years ago, and he told me, "Oh yeah, Asmongold is totally not transphobic. There's not a transphobic bone in Asmongold. Asmongold is super tolerant and chill." Sure.
Perverted fixation around trying to discuss and like trying to regulate children's sexuality.
Nobody's even discussing sexuality. This is clear proof that he doesn't know what he's talking about. What do you mean regulate children's sexuality? Gender has nothing to do with sexuality. Gender affirming care has nothing to do with sexuality. Puberty blockers have nothing to do with sexuality. Nobody's trying to regulate anybody's sexuality.
It's going to be over. It's going to be completely over. It's going to be over on a level that you couldn't have even expected.
There you go. And this is probably why we're seeing such a rise in transphobia, because the biggest idiots that happen to be the biggest political commentators open their mouths on topics they have no clue about. Regulating sexuality? Really? Is that what's happening? No, it's not. I don't even know if this is dishonesty or if this is this stupidity. I have no clue. I have no clue if Asmongold here actually genuinely believes this, or if this is some kind of a grift. I cannot tell. I cannot tell you. But then again, what is even the difference functionally? I don't even know if I should care if this is on purpose or not. Not even sure if I should concern myself with that question. There we go. Vladimir says, you know what, Lucy? Actually, very recently, I've heard from a Christian podcaster that, in fact, gender-affirming care is demonic and anti-God, whatever that means. Oh, well, that's great. Demonic and anti-God. Of course it is. Of course it's demonic and anti-God. What a timeline that we're living in. Nightmarish timeline. Oh well. It is what it is, isn't it? We're just going to have to live with it. Live with the fact that the biggest political commentators, the biggest political streamers just so happen to be the biggest idiots that have no clue what they're talking about. I'm gonna have to slowly get used to it. Oh my God. Of course. All right, let's get into something more substantial. Is he still debating that guy? I want to know. On brand for the US? Yeah, I don't think that should be the brand. Yeah. Boom. Of course. Yeah, of course. As always. As always. Let's go through those peace term whatever things. They're not whatever things. How dare you? Oh yeah, of course. Oh god. Horrible things. Horrible, terrifying, deadly things. The Berlin deal on Ukraine's future security is just an Article 5 mirage for a non-existent peace. Whoops. Well, I certainly agree with that opinion. I certainly agree with an opinion that the peace is a joke. The Article 5 is just an empty promise. I'm going to go there. It is an empty promise and nothing's going to come out of it. But you know what? Let's look at some promises that the US has given to Ukraine lately. Where is it? There you go. Security guarantees offered by Trump to Ukraine and a peaceful plan were revealed by the New York Times. The first document contains principles that are analogous to security guarantees under Article 5 of NATO. And I've heard a couple of different versions of how it's gonna go. I've heard that it's gonna be legally binding, not legally binding, that the US is going to participate in it, that the US is not going to participate in it. It's just all like written with a stick on the surface of water. It's non-binding, it doesn't mean anything. And even if it means something, then it's just going to be temporary. It's not going to be on the table forever. Yeah, and plus, as somebody has rightfully noted here, Trump does not even care for the actual Article 5. We've been hearing from some politicians from the US that the US will not even really care for or respect the actual Article 5. So why should we believe that the US is going to respect an Article 5-like thing? And also, I believe that part of the whole thing about NATO is Article 5. So if Russia does not want the expansion of NATO, which includes Article 5, then I have no clue why the US expects Russia to agree to an Article 5 like security guarantee from Russia. I have no clue why the US expects that without Russia being actually forced to sit at the negotiation table and agree to things, which means that Russia would have to be pressured a lot more, either through sanctions or on the battlefield, which means that the United States would have to step up its game or even have any sort of game when it comes to supporting Ukraine. Like, what am I talking about? Stepping up the game. The US has no game whatsoever right now. When it comes to, it's non-existent. The aid is non-existent. The support is non-existent. There's nothing. There is nothing. Okay, let's continue reading this. The second document details the cooperation of America and European troops with the armed forces of Ukraine to prevent aggression. The following is provided for. The size of the armed forces of Ukraine is 800,000 people in peacetime. Interestingly enough, the in peacetime has been added. That is something that Russia will never agree to. Russia wants to reduce the Ukrainian armed forces, so it will never agree for it to stay the way it is right now in peacetime. That is already something that Russia, I know, will never agree to. Again, Russia will not agree to anything until the situation forces it to. Russia thinks that it's winning. The Russian media is reporting all the time right now about how this is a negotiated capitulation of Ukraine. That is how Russia is openly talking about this peace talk. So it's definitely not going to agree to anything like this. Modern training and equipment, very vague. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Military forces led by Europe will assist Ukraine by operating inside the country for security in the air and at sea, which again, once again, Russia has said that it will not allow any NATO troops in Ukraine, and European troops are NATO troops. So already, once again, a condition that Russia will not agree to, not unless it is forced to, and nobody's putting any pressure on Russia whatsoever currently. So Russia has no incentive to agree to anything. It is expected that these troops will be based in Western Ukraine, away from the frozen front line. Irrelevant. Russia will still never agree to any of that crap. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that, really. The US will help detect attempts by Russia to organize false flag operations. This is an interesting thing. It sounds very nice, but I assure you, Russia will never agree to any of that. I assure you, because Russia always does false flags attacks. So, good luck. Good luck with putting this forward to Russia, and Russia saying, "Oh yeah, of course, okay, of course, we're gonna allow ourselves to be supervised by the US when it comes to false flag operations." Sure thing. That's a totally realistic demand for Russia to agree to without any pressure whatsoever when Russia believes that it's winning the war. Russia, however, has repeatedly stated that it will never agree to the presence of NATO troops in Ukraine. Whoops. Well, what do you know? Ukraine plan calls for enhanced military with US and European backup. The latest proposal is designed to deter future Russian aggression, but Russia is not part of the talks and has shown little willingness to negotiate. That's accurate. That is definitely accurate. But you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be completely honest. Everybody's saying, well, not everybody. There are certain people like Trump saying that they would like a ceasefire or a peace deal before the end of the year. I think they wanted it for Christmas or something. And I just don't see it. I don't see any breakthrough happening anytime soon, to be quite honest with you. And I believe that this conflict will go for quite a bit longer. It will definitely not end anytime soon. And if you want to focus on something, you should focus your attention on the big loan that the European Union is trying to organize for Ukraine. based on the frozen Russian assets, because that is the thing that Ukraine actually desperately needs right now, and it is being blocked. It is being blocked by Belgium, and it is being also opposed to by, I think, 4 countries. That is the thing that we should be focusing our attention to. This peace plan that is being discussed, maybe I will be proven incorrect, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It seems to be at an impasse. It seems to be at a complete impasse. Which countries? Slovakia, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and Italy. There you go. That's not a big mystery. Those 4 countries, for one, are opposed. Call yesterday's meeting in Berlin historic might be premature. Merz left after 5 hours or something. Nothing was achieved once again, and it was, dare I say, a waste of time. But it was certainly a moment of political gravity, with the Atlantic Alliance fracturing. The fact that German, French, and British leaders managed to sign any kind of paper with the Trump team is a success in itself. That is so pathetic. That is so pathetic. The Americans and Europeans are no longer playing on the same team. Well, that has been apparent for a while now. That should not be a revelation at this stage of the game. This has been understood for quite a long time, that Trump is not playing in the same team as Europe. Yet they managed to cobble together an agreement in principle. Yeah, it's no longer about signing an agreement. Now it became about agreeing to an agreement in principle. A European-led force to secure Ukraine's rear and regenerate its army, paired with a US-led intelligent backbone to monitor the front lines. Good luck. However, the diplomatic breakthrough operates in a vacuum. The participants hammered out a security guarantee for a peace that does not exist, dependent entirely on the whims of the Russian elephant not in the room, which I'm already telling you, Russia will not agree to any of this. Spoiler alert. I'm going to spoil the whole thing for you. Russia will not agree to any of it. Russia will say that Europe is warmongering and moving things away from addressing the core reasons for this conflict happening in the first place. That is what Russia's stance will be. 100 billion%. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk called to an end to the fighting by Christmas, unlikely because the Russians are not very interested in peace talks or a ceasefire. Also, interestingly enough, the biggest peacemaker, the biggest art of the deals guy, Trump, apparently in private, has said that, actually, you know what? I don't think that Russia wants to stop at Donbass. I don't think Russia just wants some territories from the Donbass. I actually really think that at the end of the day, Russia just wants to take over the entirety of Ukraine. And he says that in private, but he does not really, his policy when it comes to the peace talks does not reflect that. Polish Minister Donald Tusk called an end to the fighting by Christmas unlikely because the Russians are not very interested in peace talks or a ceasefire. And that is correct. That is absolutely correct. Russia has already officially rejected any idea of a Christmas ceasefire. So I guess we're going to be seeing some Christmas bombing. That's going to be a thing. Christmas bombing is going to be a thing. You're going to see. You know? The Article 5 Mirage. The headline promises seductive, The signatories have pledged to take measures to restore peace and security in the event of a future Russian attack. To the casual observer, and indeed to many hopeful souls in Kyiv, this sounds indistinguishable from NATO's Article 5, the gold standard of collective defense that says an attack on one is an attack on all. But look closer and the mirage shimmers. The language used in Berlin borrows the style of NATO, but the substance of the European Union. Specifically, it mirrors Article 42 of the EU treaties. The crucial difference lies in two words: national procedures. Unlike the automatic tipwire we associate with NATO, through even that is more political than people realize, the Berlin deal leaves the response to the discretion of each capital, so it is in fact not legally binding. This way, oh yeah, we're under attack. Help us. You promised us an Article 5 deal. Nuclear war, World War III. Is it worth it? No, it's not. As the text of Article 42 explicitly notes, assistance may include armed force. May, but it may not. But it also lists intelligence, logistics, and economic sanctions as equal alternatives. So, worthless. A worthless security guarantee, if there ever was one. Because, of course, Ukraine's allies are going to choose sanctions and logistics. It creates a menu of options, not a mandate for war. Essentially, Article 5 carries a clear military expectation, while Article 42 is a looser commitment to provide aid that may stop well short of armed force. So basically what we are seeing now, and the reason why we are in this mess right now. Trump says we're closer than ever. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. I will believe it when I see it. I will believe it when I see it. It is a clever piece of diplomatic engineering. It allows European leaders to promise robust protection without terrified voters in Paris or Berlin believing they have just signed up for World War III. It offers Kyiv a shield, but one that is held together by political will, which makes it worthless, because we've all witnessed just how big this political will is during the last 3 years. Not ironclad treaty law. The American question. The American question is basically, whose side is America on? And I would answer this very quickly. On Russia's side, very clearly. Russia playing for time. Russia does not care for negotiation. Russia does not care for a ceasefire or peace. Russia believes that it is winning this war, and it wants to push further and further to meet all of its military operation goals, as several politicians from Russia keep repeating over and over and over again. They will not let us forget about it. They will not let us forget that they want to achieve all the goals of the special military operation. It is impossible. What Berlin really represents, Monday's agreement is the best attempt so far to square incompatible realities. Europe wants to protect Ukraine without triggering automatic war. The US wants to influence without open-ended commitment. Russia wants more time and more land, and Ukraine just wants to survive. But as long as the fundamentals of a deal on territory remain unknown, these security guarantees remain a kind of ghost architecture, a magnificent design for a house that no one can yet move into. That is the truth lurking behind the handshakes in Berlin, which basically means that nothing has been achieved. We have moved no further to a peace agreement. It's all smoke and mirrors, which is not something that I have not expected, predicted. It's very predictable, all things considered. And the US switching sides basically after Trump took office is just makes things worse. Considering that the US is trying to pressure Ukraine into capitulation. We'll see. This is an ongoing situation. I will definitely gauge the temperature of Ukrainian people. I will certainly gauge the atmosphere and see how it's all going. All right. All right. Any questions? Anything for me? Enjoying the Ukraine stream? No? Okay. I guess this is the perfect time for me to end it then. I'm gonna radio into somebody. Because that's the world that we live in and we have to learn to embrace it. All right. I'm gonna radio. Oh, I don't have any. Oh, there you go. I'm gonna raid you into President Sunday. Maybe one day he will raid me back. One day. Alright, I'll see you. Bye-bye. It's been a little bit short, but I'm still tired from my journey. See you later, alligators.